Thank everybody for joining us today. This is, of course, our last event. I mean, this is crazy, eh? That it's the last event for 2021. And then after this, we're going to be saying 2022 now. Terry, isn't that crazy? So I'm really happy that Jacqy is helping me today. We're talking about a very important topic, which is, of course, how to survive the holidays. So, I'm not even going to talk about what is happening for the first week of 2022. Usually I lead in with what's coming up. I'm just going to leave that to our newsletter and et cetera. But I am really, really stoked about a lot of the things that we've talked about over the past month that are coming into effect in the first, in January and February of next year. So definitely check the website out because there's a lot of things that are going to be turned on there. All right. So, Jacqy, how are you doing? How is it out west?
We had 2 very nice days. I went skating and didn't freeze. And now we're back down to freezing temperatures. And I'm enjoying time with family. So it's been nice.
Very, very cool. You've got snow out there?
No.
No snow?
So
okay. All right.
The kids wanted to go sledding and we went skating instead because there really wasn't much snow.
Okay. Awesome. Well, you know what? I didn't realize until I started looking into the reason for this call, which is about things that happened over the holidays, that holidays are controversial. People, they get pretty upset with each other. Families are not bonding these days. What's going on
with families?
Yeah,
ultimately, I think people are just under a lot of stress. And given the added, can we be together? Can we not be together? What do we do? Holidays don't look the same as they used to, which means traditions are going out the window. And some people get really attached to things like that. So a lot of it, I think, is around expectations of what we feel the holidays should look like. And then what actually materializes in front of us due to, family dynamics to start with. And then you add in COVID and different expectations. And, not that I really want to talk about vaccines today, but that is, in some families, that is a very big part of what is separating people and making it more difficult for them to come together.
American politics, it ends up being like, right? The vaccine. If in Canada, it's kind of like, are you Republican or Democrat?
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that because the top 3 conversations that really seem to drive wedges into families is gifts, politics, and the vaccine. It's funny that you can have a fully vaccinated group of people, fully vaccinated, and when the topic of the vaccines come up, they all have very different ideas about it, and it can get pretty heated, even among fully vaccinated. So, there's also something about people being in a closed space together. It's a pressure cooker, right? And then they all get together in this closed space, and there's butting heads just because of being in that space together.
Well, and I think like in my circumstances now, my family's pretty good, but when you're not used to being in the same space for a longer period of time, right? If you're traveling to family and then you're spending a couple of days there where normally you wouldn't be 24/7 with them, that also can add an extra dynamic to a situation because there's no break, right? And people often don't realize that they have the right to take a time out when they need it. They don't have to leave themselves in that situation. You can go out for a walk, go out shopping, go out and do something else and feel it's okay to say to your family, right, I need a time out.
Right.
I need to get a breather. I need, The other thing is that we often, when we travel, and I know even for me, my regular routines are disrupted. And it becomes more of a challenge to keep yourself in those daily routines that you do at home to manage your mental health, right? And then suddenly you're in a new space and you've thrown your routines out the window. We're often eating foods we don't normally eat, where our schedules are completely off, and people don't realize that that actually will have a direct effect on your mental health.
Now, what about hyper commercialism? Right? I mean, there was a time back in the old days where I remember Christmas time I would get one or two gifts, right? Or a gift from each person, and then eventually it became like you get 4 gifts from one person, and the expectation if I only got one gift, oh man, that's not a good day, right? So the expectation, especially in this time of COVID, where some people don't have the resources that they used to have, right? How is that affecting people?
Yes.
It's actually very frustrating with my family because they have this, like everyone has kind of the mindset that we should have equal-ish valued gifts. But for me, for so many years, I was a student because I just kept going back to school and getting more degrees. So for so many years, I had no money. And it's just like, I was talking to Ivan about this earlier. There's no really understanding about I can't afford to get you a gift. So instead, I'm going to make you something, or I bake cookies. I was telling him a couple of years ago for my family. And there was this huge kickback of just like, why did I ask you for cookies? I didn't want cookies. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I gave that out of the love of my heart. And they're like, we didn't ask for the love of your heart. And I'm like, that kind of ruined my Christmas. Thanks.
Yeah. How many people are like the handmade Christmas card? And they're like, oh, honestly, a handmade card.
I would prefer a handmade card over a store-bought one any day of the week.
Right.
I don't do cards. I don't do Christmas cards. 1, for environmental purposes. 2, I mean, unless you're really pouring your heart out into them, I'd rather send people an email on Christmas Day with an actual heartfelt message than just delivering cards for the sake of delivering cards.
Well, I'm going to talk to the newlywed Adam here. Adam, if you just provided your wife with one gift, would it be divorce?
You know what? If there was just one gift, it would definitely be a heartfelt message. I think that would mean more to her than anything else.
I love it. Cool. Awesome. I'm also thinking about, there's an argument over food and food preparation. That seems to be a big thing at Christmas time. How many people are eager to help out in the kitchen at Christmas time?
I do the whole meal. I tell people if they want to bring something, bring dessert, because there's nothing worse than planning your whole meal out and somebody shows up, usually late. Oh, and I just have to cook this. Well, actually, the whole meal's done. Just take it home because the meal's already done. And now you're going to come when I'm ready to put the food on the table and tell me, hold my whole meal because you just have to cook this. Yeah. Bring dessert. That's really easy. I don't do dessert. I don't bake. I love dessert. But bring some dessert, please.
Folks, definitely invite Michael to your home for Christmas.
My daughter-in-law is our host now for large family event gatherings. So I go, Steph, what do you want me to do? Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm always the stuffing person. And of course, we have vegan and non-vegan there as well. So that has to be in the consideration as well, right? So yeah, that's all I do is stuff. Tell me. So I'm stuffing and dessert, which is gelato, Christmas log.
Nice.
So when you think about
any baking is definitely up to my daughter. I'm told I'm not allowed to bake, so I'm terrible. I have baked if it's store-bought. But no,
baking is my sister. Like if it's a sweet thing, my sister bakes it. If it's a savory thing, my other sister bakes it. My thing is typically I'm like the designer of the Christmas table. I get there, I help make sure everything's plated and put in nice serving bowls and all that and set nicely on the table. That's kind of my role. My family won't eat my healthy food because I have my nutrition background, and they're just like, ew, your stuff is so weird. Why do you eat that? And I'm like, guys, it's like mashed sweet potatoes is not weird.
So good.
Right? I love it. And they're just like, it's orange, Veronica. Like, that's not potatoes. Potatoes are white. And I'm just like, you don't understand. The best potatoes are purple.
We actually always put in a sweet potato just to change the color.
Well, I like, my whole thing is eat the rainbow, right? And I try to teach people this every day. And the really cool thing about that I've been telling my family, they should eat more sweet potatoes because they are orange. So they contain beta carotene. Beta carotene is a carotenoid, which is good for your eyes. And my family has a history of macular degeneration. So I'm like, this would help you. Right. And they're like, but it's orange. That's weird. That's not a potato.
So let me ask you this question. What does Christmas mean to you, right? What does the Christmas or the holiday season mean to you? And with that in mind, what do you actually bring to the table to help that to happen?
Literally bring to the table?
So, well, not the dinner table. You know, just
we were just talking about food.
That's right.
I can start. Christmas for me has always been about being with friends and family and loved ones. So even when I lived abroad, I created what I call my UK family, which was friends. And it's really about setting aside time to spend together. So, you know, in terms of creating traditions, it was always about the things we did more than anything else, things that were sort of out of the ordinary. So I might add to your question, Ivan, about what does Christmas mean to you, and what is one of your Christmas traditions? Because we used to do New Year's or Christmas Eve. We would always do finger foods, which as a kid was a lot of fun. So it was all those like bite size. My mom would buy all those things that you didn't normally have during the year, right? My grandma would make pigs in a blanket and things like that. So that always reminds me of Christmas. So that's
cool.
fine.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead, Michael.
With us, it's 24th is the big thing because the European background. Everybody comes to our place. My daughter's home. My son's home. This year will be his girlfriend there too. They'll all stay together. I used to do all my presents as a kid because on the 24th, because that's the way it went in European families. Mm-hmm. Now we do usually most of it all on the 25th. And then our other tradition is we have a big breakfast afterwards where we do like bagels and cream cheese and smoked salmon and just have a nice big breakfast. And then, yeah, sometimes people have to leave after that. And that's okay because we've had some time together.
Nice.
For me, the Christmas tradition that I like the best is my mom's raisin cake. And the recipe is a wartime cake from World War I. So it has no dairy and no eggs, but it is just delicious. It's got maraschino cherries and like raisins and rum and rum brandy. I think both. Yeah, it's delicious.
Awesome. Anybody have any unusual traditions?
There's one kind of from my family background, like the Slovak heritage. The Slovak Santa, or the European Santa, I guess, his name's Mikuláš. And he comes the beginning of December, I think. But only what you do is families would shine their best Sunday shoes and put them out by the door. And then in the morning, they'd be filled with like oranges, like clementines and nuts and stuff, like little toys and all that. Nothing huge like we get for gifts these days, but like just little stuff.
That was on December 6th, Veronica.
Was it December 6th? Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
I got the same thing as a kid. That was done in our family.
I loved that.
Yep.
I loved it because it was like 2 Christmases.
Ours came to December 19th.
Oh,
It's Saint Nicholas who comes on December 6th, and he brings little treats for the children.
In Slovak, it's Mikuláš. So yeah, same thing.
Right.
In Ukrainian, Mikolai, same thing.
We always did not for religious reasons, but it was a family tradition just to have the meatless Christmas Eve, right? So you'd have the pierogies and you'd have the dessert ones. So they'd be like with blueberries or, stuff like that. And sauerkraut ones, trying to think of the English word, sorry. So that was ours, is that it was all meatless. And then, like Michael said, after, like, the littlest kids would open their presents Christmas morning, but then the adults would sit down and have a nice big breakfast, like, a nice formal breakfast.
Yeah, that's another tradition in my family too, is we go to my mom's place for brunch, kind of. She makes schnitzels and potato salad and all the Slovak everything.
Anybody have family that comes in, or you go to, where the whole family gets together like the day before and you sleep over and everybody gets up in the morning and you spend that time? Anybody do that?
Yeah, my son will be doing that, and my daughter, because we're going to go to Toronto on the 23rd, have dinner with her in Toronto, and then we bring her back home, and so she'll be at our house till 25th, 26th, and my son will show up on the 24th in the evening for the dinner, because that's our big dinners on the 24th, and then they sleep over and have Christmas morning.
Anybody not looking forward to getting together and sleeping over and going through that whole experience with the family?
Well, in fact, we're doing it several times, because we're one of the lucky ones where we can celebrate the Canadian Christmas, we celebrate Ukrainian Christmas. So, and for us, the biggest celebration was actually the Soviet times. There was the biggest celebration was New Year's, right? Mm-hmm. So you have 24th, the 1st, and the 6th and 7th. And then, but now I'm thinking, it may as well just take up Judaism and Buddhism and go celebrate from October to February. March or something. Go nuts.
Hey, every day's a party.
Wow.
My kids used to get several Christmases only because my husband and I at one time were both shift workers. So we would have Christmas with my husband's side of the family when we could all get together, because there were a few shift workers as well on that side. And then we would do it with my mother's side. And then we'd, whenever the kids and then my parents were separated. So then it was grandpa. So, like, my son said the last couple of years now that he's married and is a parent, he says, this is weird, only having one Christmas. I'm not sure if I like it or not.
And we do that too in my family. We have one with mom's family, one with dad's family, and then one with my boyfriend's family, and then one with just me and my boyfriend. So we get a whole lot of Christmas. It's pretty great.
Yeah, we do the same thing every year. We have my immediate family, we have every year meat pie. So we go the opposite of no meat. It's meat pie every year. We bake like 7 or 8, my husband and I, for years, 20, 30 something years. It's the only time of year we make meat pie, though. It's so weird because it's such a good pie, but we make it once a year, 7 or 8 of them, and we eat it constantly every single day. Breakfast with eggs, meat pie is great. So we do Christmas Eve, my immediate family, Christmas Day, his family, Boxing Day, my family. Then opposite year, Christmas Day, my whole family. I'm lucky. Everybody lives within 10 minutes, so I'm not sleeping in anyone's house.
Oh, nice.
There's like 35 of us, which all live within 10 minutes. So It's going to be 3 solid days of fun. You didn't hear that here, though. You didn't hear that here. There's going to be 5 people.
Michael was telling me the other day that he went out, he cut down his tree. It's a real tree. There's a certain smell that you get. Are there any smells that are specific to Christmas, that other than the smell of the Christmas tree, that you just know that whenever you smell that, it's Christmas?
Gingerbread.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's gingerbread. I love gingerbread. Ginger is one of my favorite spices, and fresh out of the oven gingerbread cookies are life for me in December.
I had those yesterday.
So good, right?
One made on a smoker. It was very good.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Weird.
I need to try that.
Back at home,
that leaves me out. Shortbread for me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Turkey, good old turkey smell.
Yeah.
My mom makes turkey all year, any chance. That's her favorite food. So any excuse to make turkey, that's what she's having. So in my family growing up, we probably had, like, some people have turkey on like Easter and Christmas or something like that. We have it like once a month, probably.
Back at home, we had it's a special kind of tangerine which is like it's. I think it's well, they carry it here in a certain period of time. It's from China, I believe, and it just has a distinct smell. It's not clementine; it's different, and doesn't have the clementine smell. And back in the day in the Soviet Union, it was a bit of a scarcity, right? So we didn't have the mandarins or anything during the year, and that was just the time when the mom and dad were buying, some of it. So that's always kind of sticks as the Christmas smell sort of thing, or memory of Christmas.
Does anybody set their plum pudding on fire? That's what I always remember about Christmas. My grandmother
Not
did.
intentionally.
Plum pudding, pour alcohol over it, set it on fire.
Really?
Oh,
Not intentionally. We do that the raisin cake though.
It's delicious, but it's with that hard sauce.
Mm.
We used to put sparklers on the Christmas tree when I was a kid and light them.
Oh.
And you live to tell the tale.
I'm still here, and I'm going to turn 60 in a couple of weeks. So yeah,
Couple weeks, couple
Amazing.
days.
well, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
We my mom, our tradition is always the sweet bread. So it's homemade bread, but you just put more eggs in it. So or yolks. So it's really, really yellow. That's what we call sweet bread.
Try adding poppy seeds to that. I make the same thing, but I put poppy seeds in it. It's so good.
And then it gets braided so that you don't have to cut it. You can just pull pieces off of it. It's wonderful. That's Easter.
Making me hungry. And I only have, put it this way, my cooking facilities right now are 2 burners and a microwave. As far as I know,
Microwave turkey.
Yeah, no. Not even a faux turkey would go in good in that one.
A couple of years ago, my friends deep fried a turkey. They had a big metal barrel and they filled it with oil and they deep fried it was actually really, really juicy. Very, very, the exterior, the skin was weird, but
I
think that's even better than that now is the infrared heaters. You can get those, and same thing. You put it in a pot, but it's an infrared light, so you don't have all the oil, and they come out really nice and crispy and juicy.
Yeah, listen, I want to go through a list here because I did some research here because I know that we all get along and no one ever argues about things on Christmas. So I just wanted to go through this quick list, and I'd love to hear. I'm going to read them through, and then afterwards we can chat about them. The things that people argue the most about, or that disrupts Christmas most often. Who is going to own the remote control? You got all these A-type personalities that come over to your place, and they're used to dominating the remote control in their own house. Then they come to your house,
men.
and they right? Yeah. Okay, don't go bashing men. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. Mums stressing over Christmas dinner, or no one helping mom. Who's going to wash up all those dishes? How many people said, "Screw it, I'm going to go to the Mandarin this year and have Christmas there." Cheating on the board games. What time to open the presents? Now, I'm the guy who likes to open presents after 1 o'clock, right? So, whereas I like to go out in the morning, find a nice coffee shop that's open, have my latte after having my steak and eggs, go grab a coffee. But, that could be an argument I could see for sure.
I'm sure your daughter would argue with you about that.
I think that
Your
was an
kids
argument.
can't be happy with that.
Not yet.
I think that was an
I was
argument. It was
arguing-
Not
his wife that was
openly.
not happy.
Not openly.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
arguing with my
Teresa?
niece.
Teresa, you're saying something?
I was going to say, I think it was the wife that was arguing with that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was
Have you-
arguing with my niece and nephews over whether it was going to be 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.
Oh,
That's right.
It's the first Christmas morning I've gotten to spend with them ever. So I was like, whatever time it is up, I'll get up.
All right, deciding what Christmas movie to watch.
Mhm. Yeah, which is the best one. Yeah.
Die Hard. When did that become a Christmas movie?
No.
Anyway, not tidying up after opening presents. Of course, that was a big one. Children using their mobile phones during dinner. Dad not wanting to stop to watch soap opera Christmas specials. You know those ones, right? My favorites, right? You know those ones, those movies. Harlequin
Hallmark
romance.
movies?
movies on Netflix. Huh?
Gotcha.
I love those. A little bit of a tearjerker sometimes. Okay. Kids moaning about their presents and the parents saying, "You ungrateful." Okay. Family feuds. Temperature in the house is a big one. Someone goes and turns down the temperature and you go, "No, why is it so cold in here? Turn that thing back up." All right.
That was my dad.
Yeah,
okay.
that is happening at my parents at the moment.
This is one that happens between husbands and their wives. After everyone's left, they argue about the cost of having everybody over. I didn't think that was a thing. Okay, and mom having
I heard it beforehand, but not after.
And I guess the last one here makes sense. Now that everyone starts bashing men, it's mom's having too many pre-dinner drinks. Happens. Happens.
That would have been my father.
You left out a very important one.
Which one?
People arguing about new additions of spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends. That is always a heated debate in my family, but it doesn't happen at the Christmas celebration. It happens during the month or so before, because it's always just like, you have a new person again. Oh God.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else?
I hide the remotes. I just hide them. They're gone.
Yeah. I turn on music and hide it. You're right.
Exactly. Good fun. Good luck finding it.
Yeah.
Happy hunting.
Watch the fireplace channel. Is that?
No. I'll put on music. I'll put music on.
Yeah,
I don't have a remote.
Even when I had my house, I didn't worry about it. I was too busy cooking. Like when I still had the house, I would do Christmas dinner. Like the last several years I had it, and I was too damn busy to even care what was on the TV. That was another room.
I didn't want people to be just watching TV. For us, the big thing is getting together and because my children are both adults now, right? So I don't get, that's precious time where I've got their, I don't know, attention or whatever you want to call it, but time to visit with them, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to hear, even if I'm not included in the conversation, just hear the conversation. It's great to hear.
My biggest thing is stay out of my kitchen when I'm cooking, especially when I'm pulling out the turkey. Get out of my kitchen.
Problem.
I'm coming right through you, man.
That's the opposite with us. For us, is everybody into the kitchen. That's where the food and the family and the camaraderie happens. So if you can comfortably fit maybe 10 people into your kitchen, guaranteed we're going to put 30 in there.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I'm gonna pick on Jennifer if she's around, because I want to know, is there a point that you get to where you're thinking, okay, it's time for people to go home now?
I think that every time there's people in my house. Every time. But yes, my boyfriend and I are like trying to figure out our plans for New Year's Eve, jumping a week ahead. And I'm like, I'm willing to host, but like I want you to tell your friends that it's like kiss your whoever at 12 o'clock and then be out the door by 12:20. Like that's right. I want to go to bed. Like right. So just like setting the expectation ahead of time for me is really important. Also, most of his friends have children, so they're not like interested in staying till 3 a.m. But yeah, no, there's definitely time where I'm like, okay, cool. Either you're leaving or I am. If I'm leaving, lock the door behind you when you decide to go. Yeah. So I'm an ambivert, so I love the energy of people, but I need the downtime in between to just recharge myself. So like I'm very cognizant of my energy levels. And when I start to feel like I need to pull back, I'll disappear for 10 minutes at a party and just play on my phone somewhere, hide in a closet, just because I need to recharge me so that I don't snap people's heads off. But
so do you call that an ambivert?
Ambivert.
I've never heard that. My grandpa's like that. We called him an extroverted hermit.
Yeah, it's the in between introvert and extrovert.
Love people, love gatherings, as long as it's on your terms and they can go home when you tell them to.
Yeah.
So is it on Christmas Eve? Is it like 8 o'clock? You want people to go home, and on New Year's Eve you want them to go home at 12:20?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, anybody
That's
else?
why I'm grateful I'm not the host anymore. I get to go, and then when I'm done, I get to leave. And it usually is just before the dishes are due because there were years we used to say, don't worry about the dishes. We're just going to visit. We'll do it. And we would. My husband and I would, the kids would help clean up the whole area, but get everything into the kitchen. And then my husband and I would putter with that. But now I just go, it's time to leave. I got called out on it last night. My son says, oh, you're finished. Does that mean you are leaving now? And I went, yeah, I think so. Right. I didn't live 56 years not to figure out when to leave. Like,
well, on New Year's Eve, you better not leave at midnight, because I got ripped off because I got to share my birthday with the world for New Year's Eve. So you better stay way past New Year's Eve, at least till 1 or 2, so we can keep partying a little longer.
You could look at that different too and say the entire world is celebrating your birthday.
Well, that's true, but I still get one party less than everyone else. Any way you cut it, I still get one less.
Being's overrated.
Well, you can always host your birthday on a different day. My birthday's also in December, and as a kid, I remember one year celebrating it in July because I wanted to have an outdoor party and friends sleep over in tents. So we had the birthday party in July.
Michael, we're going to have a birthday party for you, and we're going to just make up a birthday in July, and we're going to celebrate it.
Well, that's actually what I'm going to do this year, because I was going to have a big 60 bash, and now with everything falling apart. So my wife turns 60 in July, and our anniversary's in July, so we've got it all circled up already. We're starting to let people know that we're going to move it all to one bash in the middle of July on a Saturday.
I believe it was Dr. Seuss too that made a really good point that you have one birthday, but you have 364 unbirthdays. Was that Dr. Seuss? Who was that said that?
I celebrate half birthdays, because why would I not?
I'll buy that whole Dr. Seuss thing. I think it's good.
One birthday or anniversary that I have to celebrate every year is my rebirth day, the day that I had that second brain hemorrhage, so July 26th. Because that's like technically, depending how you look at it, I probably died that day and then I came back. So that's kind of a rebirth day.
Nice.
Yeah, so you should have 2. Okay, so is there anything that...
Oh, so just before you move on, my thing is that I don't want people to leave. They can just stay. Stay as long as they want.
Really? I kind of feel bad for my mother. Yeah. I feel bad for my mother because we have a large family, and because we have a large family, she has a whole ton of people over there. And so she always has a house full of people. I'm excluded from that because I live in Brantford. I'm pretty close to her. So luckily I don't have to stay there. But so I can just be picked up and taken home. I'm just myself anyway. I'm not a big family with the others. Like, I don't have children. All my other sisters have children. So all except for Laura, but because Laura's single, so she doesn't have a boyfriend either, boyfriend or children. So that's good. So no arguments there anyway. But basically, they're all staying in the house with my mother, and they come from all over. Like, I have my sister Celeste, who just arrived last night at midnight, with Unique and Khalix, her young son, and they came from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, nice.
And then there's Yvonne and James, and they come from Kingston, Ontario, so they're about a 6-hour drive. So they're going to be coming with London and Alexis, their children, and so yeah, there's going to be quite a few people in her place, and it's going to be a jungle. But basically, my job is the pastry chef. I cook all the pies every year. They expect me to cook the pumpkin pies and any other pies that are necessary, and because that's my specialty, to cook pastries, and I'm more of the pastry chef type of person. Although I can cook anything because I have all that learning and all that experience and education doing whatever cooking. So
Okay, so here's a question then. How many people love noise on Christmas? Love the clamor of people and sounds and laughter and kids and everything else. How many people love it?
Love it.
Yeah, me.
I do
Really?
like the laughter of children, but I gotta say it does get to be a little bit much with all the people.
After 6 hours?
I can handle the noise. I don't like Christmas carols.
What?
For some reason, I'm the only human I've ever heard of that actually feels this way. But Christmas carols make me really, really angsty because they've been playing the same ones for like 50 years, and they all have the same message. Like Christmas is merry and bright.
Classics.
I know, but it's like
them all and listening to.
There's no Christmas carols. There's no Christmas carols about the reality of Christmas. Like a lot of people do not have a Merry Christmas, and nothing acknowledges that. So I know a lot of people who have a really difficult time listening to these Christmas carols, and they're just like, it makes me like really angsty.
How many other people have the same thing?
Well, there's a person in Brantford here who has a doorbell that's actually jingle bells, and you got to hear that all year round. Anytime a person goes to the door, you're hearing jingle bells.
You must really love
jingle
that song.
bells, jingle bells. And I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. You got to hear that all year round. Oh no.
I would move out of the neighborhood.
No, you would just tear out the doorbell, I'm sure.
You know, there is a radio station that just played, like I think it's 98.1 at the beginning of December. They started playing only Christmas carols.
They do that every year.
Yeah, they're annoying.
I grew up.
And they're not even good Christmas songs they play on there.
I grew up doing Christmas musicals from the time I was 5 until I was 28. And we started rehearsing in August. So I expect to start hearing Christmas music. Like it's almost like part of my instincts now. Like around August, I want to turn on Christmas music. I start listening to my Spotify channels in mid-August.
Now see, if a band like say Pink Floyd had a Christmas album, I'd probably be into that.
Right.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Here's the answer for you.
You know who's a good Christmas album, though, I will admit, is the Piano Guys.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I really like a song. I think it's been banned, though. It's that the Pogues or whatever they are. They sing the Bronx Christmas Tale. Crickets. Oh. Okay. Well,
I don't know if you heard me, but Trans-Siberian Orchestra has the whole concert, and it's like rock with the Christmas theme, right?
Really? Eh?
Yeah. It's the best in their kind, sort of thing. But you got to be on a first 10 rows, otherwise it's not worth. It's worth
actually an orchestra.
Well, it's not orchestra. It's a I don't know. I shouldn't say it's a heavy metal band, but it's something in between. But speaking of noise, for me, it's the in-laws. They come in like we're family of 3. We're quiet, and when there's seven or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them come in, and they somehow speak at the same. Everybody speaks at the same time. Like we speak one at a time, and just take turns and everything else. They speak to each other. Six voices at the same time. It's like, shoot me now.
Wow. So, Adam, you have a big family, big relatives?
On my mother's side, there's not too many relatives left. On my father's side, lots of his relatives are actually from out of town. And then on my stepmother's side, that we actually have a lot of relatives. So it's in terms of myself, it's challenging because I live 6 hours away from my family. So traditionally, I would travel up north to Espanola. It's about 6 hours north of Hamilton, and would try to get my visiting with all the different relatives throughout a few days to a week. But it's definitely been difficult during COVID, of course. I didn't even make it up there last year. I think everything got shut down.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Christmas last year was devastating because it was the last Christmas with both of my grandfathers, and I didn't get to see either of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a bummer. But this year is probably the last Christmas with both of my grandmothers, and no one's going to stop me from seeing them. I don't care what they try to do. They can lock down whatever they want. I'm still going to go see them.
Yeah, I think that has happened to a lot of people, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
traditions. You
I
never
don't
know
even
when
know
the
what
last
our
one is.
traditions are at this point. Everything's shifted so much. We've tried to use Zoom throughout the holidays to connect a little bit more, but yeah, I don't even know. Now getting married, as Ivan pointed out, that shifts things even more. So it's like Christmas time is totally different than it ever looked in the past for me.
That's right. That's right. That's why he's very Christmassy right now. You notice that? Huh?
I know. I'm looking at the tree back there. It looks great. I don't even have a tree, and I'm usually the one who's like crazy for decorating. But I'm living a bachelor. All my stuff's in storage, including my trees, and I just haven't had a chance to go there and sort it out, find my stuff, and get them. Because normally I actually own, I think it's like 5 trees or something.
Oh wow!
But I used to have a big house, and I've had apartments too. But and my living room, it was a big living room. It had 2 trees in it. It had like.
I'm noticing those Christmas cards in the background. Are those cards, or is that a pillow?
What, this?
Yeah. Oh, it's a pillow. Okay.
These are all pillows. No, I don't have any. The only card I have, I got from Linda, and it's on my fridge. It's like pictures with her and Leo and Loco, their dog. It says Joy, but she printed it out and it's on my fridge. So that's it. But that's okay. I don't do cards myself. I gave up on that years ago. Like when Dusty was little, we used to go to her father, like her father's family. Well, his father's family always had a big Christmas party. It started out in homes. They would host like once every 4 or 5 years. However, yeah, there's 4 anyway, 4 years. Then they started doing it in halls because it just kept expanding. Because the kids grown up and they were all getting married and having kids, so they did a hall.
Well, that brings me to a good point.
That I don't know.
It brings me to a good point. I'll say this because you mentioned about the hall. How many people are not having Christmas in a home, but they're going to a restaurant? How many people are having
allowed?
Christmas out in a restaurant? No,
I didn't think that was allowed because of the lockdown rules.
I don't think it is with COVID.
No, you can still go to a restaurant. They're open. They've just cut things down, and the hours
cut things down to 50%.
50%, yeah.
And no more than 10 people at a table. You can have up to 10 people at a table.
That's a problem because, I have a huge extended family. There's on my mom's side, I think there's about 30 of us. And on my dad's side, it's just less than that. So it's like there's no place that's going to fit 50 people around one table.
No. Yeah, you're right.
You have to do smaller, maybe
it wouldn't work for
tables, like take up the whole restaurant and be smaller, or rent a hall.
So, okay, so listen, this is a little off topic here, all right, because I know that we're wrapping it up. We're getting close to the end here. It's so sad. I won't see your faces until next year.
That's only a week or 2 away.
Okay. But I do want to just kind of go around and just ask people, we are heading towards the beginning of a new year, right? If everything worked out absolutely beautifully, what would you like? How would you like the new year to start for you as far as your business and the things that, if you could get yourself ready, what would you like to have in place for your business, on January 3rd? And I'm going to pick on first. I'm going to pick on Veronica.
Is it picking on me if it doesn't bother me?
Awesome.
I was talking about this with you before the call actually officially started today. I kind of have everything in place that I need for the new year to start really successfully, because as of Friday that just passed last week, I am a full-time permanent employee with benefits. I passed my 6-month probation and I am fully in now. So bosses are super happy. My numbers are like through the roof and everybody's pleased with that. And I'm feeling like I love this role. I'm super excited to have it for a whole new year. So,
and have you noticed that?
What's the role?
Her voice is a little bit more mellow and subdued and happy and comfortable. Anyway, go ahead.
What did you say, Michael?
What's the role?
It's on its face, it's sales, but it's really interesting sales because don't have to actually sell anything. I'm setting up free demos for some software that helps companies with their regulatory compliance responsibilities. So you know how there's all these chemicals used in industry for manufacturing and everything? Mm-hmm. Every chemical has regulations attached to it, and every regulation has a tendency to change. Mm. So there's people in companies whose entire job is to track these changes. And what this software does is it does it for them. You punch in the names of the chemicals, you press go, and it emails you updates whenever anything changes. So it basically makes their job much easier. I don't have to sell it. All I have to do is set up free demos, like I said. So I don't even have to take their money. I have a very stress-free job.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
All right, I'm going to pick Terry. You're next.
Yeah, I've already started getting set up. I have a big game goal setting session for the 27th with a couple hundred people on Monday night. And I've already lined up some new people that are excited to start their business in 2022. And I'm wrapping up. I've got a big week that I'm going to shut down for 3 days and just enjoy myself. And then little time between Christmas and New Year's. But 2022, I'm very excited about going into 2022. Thank God for Zoom. We're still able to continue to run my business from home. So cool. It's going to be a great year. And I'm just getting people lined up to start with me. So yeah.
Awesome. I love the enthusiasm. I love it. Adam.
I'll like everybody else that has spoken so far, I'm super excited about 2022 as my business is actually going to be more set up than it has been. As some of you know, I've only been working completely independently for about 4 months now. So, entrepreneurship in itself is very new to me. But yeah, this year coming up, I have a few things going into place that are going to help with consistent lead flow and lead generation. I'm working with a coach that's helping me work out some of my marketing, social media and whatnot. And I'm also expanding the value that I bring to people by not only having a better online strategy, but also doing some group coaching that I know will offer people a greater value. So there's a lot of great things that are really just coming together for the beginning of this next year, which is perfect. So
awesome. Yeah. I love it. Okay. Yeah. Sheila.
Still working on the plan, but I'm really super excited because I actually know where I'm headed for a change. A couple of things where, I've been trying to just make sure that I maneuver stuff and of course, my Christmases are pretty quiet. So, it'll be really nice to be able to, get some of the paperwork done, get it ahead of time and setting up. I really am very excited. Just like Terry, I already have a few things sort of set in place so that they just sort of tip, sort of just snowball through, right? So it'll be sort of the ongoing work and the momentum. I think it's just, I'm looking forward to the momentum. So
good. All these optimistic folks about next year. It's nice, huh? All right. Woo, mamacita. Okay, Maggie, you're up. You're next.
That's powerful.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a little steezy for that. All right. Thanks. That's okay. Well, you mentioned January 3rd. That's actually the deadline for my article on the falls for Lakeland. Mm-hmm. So kind of my big project for the next, finish that off next couple of weeks. And I just got a email from one of my clients, so I do some work for him. But going into the new year, well, the original plan was I was going to be in California, and I still might be doing that. I'm not really sure because the AIA conference is the first weekend of January in San Francisco. And I don't know if I'm going or not. It's just such a bit of a hassle because of, the travel, the masking and all that, because I can't. But I'm working on that. But if not, I'm definitely going somewhere. I'm going to find a way to get somewhere south.
Nice, warm.
That's really good for my business because it gives me something else to write about. Like when I go to California, if I do go to California, the plan was always spend a couple of months down there at least, and then go from there to wherever. I'm not really tied down to a location. I can work from anywhere. Even this place, I mean, I can move out whenever I want. And, when I get back, I'll find something, it's,
awesome.
it's not really a huge deal for me.
Are you optimistic?
I am actually. I am.
Mm-hmm.
I also have other plans. Like I want to get the design business going, the dress design, clothing design, like the clothing line. And now I have to wait till the other Maggie, the seamstress that I worked with for my dress, gets back. She's traveling now. I think Cuba or something. And
well, I'm excited about that because I've seen your design. I've seen your dress design because you actually wore the outfit. So that's pretty awesome. And I'm going to connect you with maybe Jackie or Jennifer to help you kind of hone in so that we can get you as successful as possible. I know we're running out of time a little bit here, so I have to kind of
okay, I won't ramble anymore.
Hey, we love it. We love it. Hey, by the way, Maggie, I don't know, you left behind a whole lot of Ferrero Rocher chocolates here. Anyway, from yesterday. Okay, Yuri, you're up.
Well, connect Maggie with Carrie. She's designing this clothing, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, if the stars line up pretty good on the January 3rd, I should be sipping Dominican rum through the straw. So
nice.
Nice.
If that's good, but otherwise, business-wise, I'm feeling very optimistic. I have these systems set up. I have the lead generation going. I have the other systems set up. So it's just a matter of hard work after that. So simple as
Are there
that.
many real estate agents in Ontario right now that are not optimistic about next year? I mean, honestly.
I want to burst your bubble because the success rate is very small, actually. The biggest agents, I guess, make the most money, and the rest are not doing anything.
Is it because they're not doing anything?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Teresa,
there's about 30% or something like that, or maybe 40% that real estate agents that are part-time. They're working their full-time job and they do maybe one transaction for themselves or don't. And even those that like I spoke yesterday to I thought very successful agent. She wants to join my team because she doesn't have the systems, and it's simple as that. And just she's being turned 10 different directions. Which system is good? Because again, we get calls from marketers twice a day. Literally.
Yes, that's what we do.
Well, good luck if you and anyway, this is
okay. Yeah. We'll pick up on that, Yuri.
Yeah.
Love you, man. Okay, Teresa, you're up.
So I do want to spend a couple of days just relaxing and airing out, just so that the things that we do have in place can just be fully focused on in the new year. And I'm totally optimistic about where things are going, even with COVID around. But I think it's going to be good. And I think that everyone's going to be at the point where they want to, yes, we're going to continue dealing with it, but we just need to, get out there and support our local businesses more.
Yep, I absolutely agree with you, Catherine. And you're on mute.
There we go. Boy, that's a delay there. I missed the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, I can ask her anything and she'll think that was the question. I was going to say that. If you can have anything that you want for the beginning of the year, what would you like to see in place for the beginning of the year for your business?
For my business? My membership site running so that I could get that passive income so that I can expand my brain to move on to something else.
Awesome. Growth. Okay. I'm deliberately keeping you for the end, Jackie, so don't get too antsy. All right, Aiden, you're up.
Well, I would like for things to continue how they ended. So I just had my last event on the 18th. I had a bunch of carolers here and I had a packed house. I had over 20 people here and I was actually was so stunned and shocked I actually hadn't had that many people in my gallery, that I actually had no idea what to do and how to treat that many people. I had completely forgotten what to do and how to treat that many people because I hadn't had it in so long. So I was like, wow. But yeah, it was nice to have, for sure. It was a nice feeling. So I hope that it continues for sure into the new year. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. My photography and videography has been nonstop from the end of July all the way through to the end, to like middle of December. And so I just hope that these things just continue for the new year. Like I was
Aidan, I'm going to tell you something. You sound optimistic.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely optimistic. I'm glad that things seem to be going back in the right direction. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to next year for sure.
Awesome. Michael.
Yeah, same thing with me. Is I've got a pretty good system going here on what I need to do and how I need to do it. And things have been going along really nicely. So I'm going to continue that into the new year, and pretty optimistic about 2022.
Good. I love it.
And I'm going to start a new decade of my life too, right? I'm going to start my 60s. So,
and by the way, you know, I met Michael years and years ago, and he hasn't changed. He's still the same guy, right? He, you know, young, energetic, focused. I love it. It's good. Jennifer.
I was all set to click mute, and then I moved my mouse again. So I'm very optimistic. That should not surprise anyone. I'm making some very strategic changes in how I work each day. So I'm really looking forward to playing with my routines and my schedules, especially in the morning, and really leaning into what feels good for my business, and not just checking things off of the to-do list on a never-ending basis.
Awesome. Wow. Action. Okay. Jacqy. All right.
I am getting systems set up, so I'm very excited about that. So come New Year, they should be rolling. And I'm starting the year with a planning session. So I'm very optimistic that next year is going to bring some beautiful things and lots of opportunities. And we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because I know that one of the things that people have come to me and talked to me about the most is that they want to set their goals, and they want to set up accountability for themselves to really push themselves this year. Everyone kind of feels like 2022 is a pivotal year, right? You get it right in 2022, 2023, 4, 5 will be awesome, right? So I would love to connect with you guys. You know, if I'm going to talk about setting up what's going on, I'd like to talk with you coaches about how we can create something at the beginning of the year for goal setting, and then structure people on an accountability track so that we can be of maximum benefit to members. You know what I mean? Because I'm really stoked about 2022. I think it's going to be an amazing, challenging, obviously, right? I see lockdowns in place. I see, I see a fourth booster, right? I see all kinds of crazy things, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Boost them as much as we need to, right? Because all we want is to make sure that we can continue to be open. Businesses can continue to thrive. If we have to go into an 8th booster, whatever we need to do, businesses need to be able to continue, right? So let's be optimistic, and beginning of the year we'll set that up. Jennifer and Jacqy and Adam on how we can go ahead and do those things. All right. So thank you, everyone. How did I do for time, guys? Okay, 5 minutes over. Not bad. It's not bad. So I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Thanks, and everyone have an amazing, amazing New Year and Merry Christmas and all that stuff. Okay. Good seeing you guys.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Hi. Happy New Year.
Hi, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Holidays.